Hey, this is Chris from Guitarist Magazine.
And I'm Lee from Andertons, and I'm at the Namm show with my favourite person that I look forward to meeting every year here. It's Diane from Martin, the lady who knows everything there is to know and more about these beautiful guitars. And we've started here because one of these guitars is having a birthday, aren't they?
That's right. This is not a midlife crisis, but a midlife celebration. This is the 50th anniversary of the iconic D35, and it's amazingly perfect that I'm talking about this with you because I know you have one. Now let's talk about first, what is the D35? It's a Dreadnought that features a three-piece back, and in 1965 this was actually the first environmentally conscious Martin guitar. Why? We made a three-piece back to preserve the very wonderful supply of Brazilian rosewood we had. Even then we had an inkling that the challenge was going to be using dwindling natural resources. The three-piece back allowed us to do something very special on a D35. Because the back is triangular, it allowed the braces underneath the top to be one little bit thinner than the usual. So instead of having 5/16 of an inch bracing, the D35 has a 1/4 inch bracing. So you think, could that make a difference? Oh yes. That's why this guitar is a canon and was the choice of Johnny Cash and so many others. Now, this is a particularly special edition to mark the birthday. 100 units worldwide. Why is it special? First, you've got fantastic European spruce top, gorgeous Madagascar rosewood back and sides with a genuine Brazilian rosewood wedge. Absolutely spectacular.
Now, I think, sadly, that we're still trying to sort out in the UK.
I think we can. I mean, I know we're sorting it out. But
just so that you know what we're talking about, there's a ban on importing instruments made with Brazilian rosewood or exporting these.
But here's the good news, Lee.
So we think we might have
I know,
okay.
But if you are lusting or have always lusted after a D35, the standard ones will be imprinted with this on the block this year. If you buy a D35 in 2015, this will be historically significant in years to come, that you bought the 50th anniversary issue.
Okay, cool.
So it's pretty exciting.
So there's just a regular, so you can still get the Madagascar rosewood back and sides one as a normal D35, it'll have this, but there's just 100 of these with the sliver of...
Right, now the standard D35 comes with Indian rosewood and not Madagascar. All right.
When you said it's a canon though, it so is, isn't it? I mean, I know every time
yours
I
is amazing, right? I remember when we were sitting in your lounge, you know? Now, if you just reach behind you and get that guitar, this is really cool,
just
you
before
guys.
anybody thinks about burgling my house, by the way, mine actually isn't a 1965 D35, mine's a 1972 D35.
I heard that you had Johnny Cash's actual guitar.
Yeah, that's right,
Is that not true?
I wish.
Now,
but it's a stunner.
this is a, talk about a stunner.
It's beautiful.
This is a great guitar for the UK. There's a tremendous appreciation of small-bodied Martins at the moment. This is a 000 shape, so it's the same shape as a Clapton, with all genuine South American mahogany, vintage tuners, rosewood bridge and fingerboard with this gorgeous sunburst and a satin finish. This is we did this in a D, the D15 sunburst, and now in a 000, so this is going to be fantastic.
And this is still using that unbelievably thin lacquer, isn't it? Just so that you allow the wood to resonate as much as it possibly can.
These guitars record astonishingly well, I think. You know,
to me, Chris, if you are serious about having a recording guitar, we asked the fifth Beatle, George Martin, a couple of years back to design what he thought was the perfect recording Martin. And it had back and sides of mahogany.
Yeah.
And it had this tight shape. It was a 4-0 actually. But mahogany, because it's so clear voice and doesn't resonate like rosewood, you put the mic there and you're done.
Exactly. You know, I mean, usually with, you know, even really, really great acoustic guitars that have, you know, got different tone woods in them, you have to take your EQ and you have to take stuff out of the bottom, maybe take stuff out of the top, but these, there's just something about them, it's like absolutely magical. One good microphone and that's it. It's like classic, absolute classic tone.
Like we're singing from the same hymn sheet, you know?
I love these guitars though.
No, I love these guitars.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I love these guitars.
So this is a really exciting corner. This is where all the Authentic series lives. The Authentic series was started a couple of years ago to replicate actually all the qualities of an old museum Martin guitar. We actually have an astounding collection of old Martins in our museum, naturally. The hallmarks of the Authentic series has always been the same hide glue, the same absolutely measurements. We took the guitars in and had them put in an X-ray machine. This year, we've really done something amazing, I think. Learning about it has been fantastic, and I want to explain this. You'll hear a lot about torification, as if the musical industry invented it. Torification has been around for hundreds of years. What is it? Boat builders started using torification to stabilize the wood. It's a slow burn of the wood. You put the wood in an oven, slowly cook it, taking all the oxygen out of the oven so you don't burn the sucker, and then you slowly remove the water. Now, some musical instrument builders do that now in a big microwave. What we do is something kind of, to me, mind-blowing. It was the brainchild of one of the guys at the factory, and what Jeff did was he looked at the cell structure of a 1931 OM-28. He actually took the top into a cellular microscope facility and decided to do torification in a different way, to very slowly monitor the slow bake and removal of the water until the top resembled the cell structure of our original 1931 OM-28. Mamma mia, that's like so amazing to me. So we don't call it torification, we call it vintage tone system, VTS, because we are not doing it like that, like slipping in some cookies and pulling it out, you know. This is like a carefully vigilant system. Not only do we vintage tone the top, we also do the braces. So this OM-28 that we say is an authentic from 1931, we did some blind testing with the 1931 OM-28, and about 40% of the people chose this over the one we have in the museum. That's astounding. The other aspect to the Authentic series that is now super duper, now look at this finish. This looks like an old freaking Martin. So how do they do that? This is like a gloss finish, but look, it has that like satin patina that you could only usually get from living with it for about 40 or 50 years. This is called vintage gloss. Now, this is how this company is so special. They have archives from the past 182 years. So Jeff went painstakingly through the archives of how we did the finish in the early 1900s because he wanted to replicate this. The good news, we can do it.
It's almost like a French polish or something, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's still glossy, but once we've sprayed it, it's got to be totally done by hand, painstakingly to get it to this point. Vintage gloss and VTS tops and braces are going to be now on all the Authentics. There's only one guitar that's not going to have the vintage gloss, and that's going to be this baby. Now, this is not really, I have to say, this is over the top, but I have to show it to you anyway. In 1930, we made 11 OM-45 Deluxes. We made it primarily so that a guy named Roy Rogers could play it on TV. We sold every one of them. And then the past couple of years, they've been going on eBay for over $1 million. Well,
wow.
We painfully bought one. It didn't cost us $1 million, but close to it. And we have now replicated that OM-45 with Brazilian. We're making 11 of these, and they're almost sold out. The price tag is $100,000.
It's only when you put a non...
Brazilian?
No, what was the aging?
Yeah, the vintage gloss against a full gloss.
It's only when you put that you really start to see...
Yeah.
See, but this is what your guitar looks like.
Yeah, and
It's
even,
not
even
shiny,
on the
shiny,
front
shiny.
as well.
Yes.
I mean, I was, while you were saying that, it's like the whole guitar manufacturing industry from those very early Fender relics where they were really just like a sort of almost just a what if we just throw it around the yard a bit and then it looks a bit old, but to now 20 odd years later where you guys and Gibson and Fender really going to insane scientific detail to understand actually what is it that happens to wood and
well, that's it.
pickups.
The fact that these guys are going in, to taking it to a cellular level is astonishing. And also, I love the fact that you're just stood there so casually with a $100,000 guitar.
We let everybody play it. I mean, their punters come up with,
I never touched $100,000. Well, not a new one anyway.
No.
Now wait, look at the tuning gears first.
Have you seen these?
They're
These
awesome.
are solid pearl. Solid pearl.
Solid pearl.
Yeah. Friction tuners, because
Actually,
this
feel
is
them
how
as
we
well,
did
because
it.
they so obviously are when you feel them. They're not flat. They're not even.
Remember
remotely
historically
plasticky, are they?
that the orchestra model was the first
cold, aren't they?
14-fret steel string guitar to be played with the banjo and mandolin orchestra, which is why it's called an orchestra model. And when we went to steel strings for the first time, we naturally went to banjo tuners because we were designing it for a banjo player. So it's
Do you know any Roy Rogers
awesome.
tunes?
I don't know any Roy Rogers tunes. Not that I could perform. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with,
To you. That's Roy Rogers.
There you go.
Hey, let's go see some more guitars.
Okay.
Someone take this off me. I'm scared.
It's crazy. Crazy.
This is 67 35 from the museum.
Oh, where?
67.
Oh, sorry. This isn't right.
We took it from the museum to bring here.
Oh man,
That's beautiful.
that's quite. Mine's got quite a bit more wear here. I'm just trying to think.
Yours won't be Brazilian.
No, mine isn't Brazilian.
From
is it?
1969 we
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
Let's come over here.
Oh man.
So
I
cool.
would love that guitar.
Yep.
I would love that guitar.
Okay.
This is one of your entry-level models, then, is it? For 2015?
Yeah. The interesting thing is, if you want something of quality, like if you want a quality car, a quality pen, a quality anything, even a quality mic, a really good laptop, you get what you pay for. I think we're very lucky in the guitar business that you can get an incredibly gorgeous, spectacular piece of art that you can play and that will go up in value and become very, at a fraction of what like a good car or even glasses will
I
cost
compare
you.
it to watches.
I always compare it to
It's
watches.
like I must admit, I'm a very lucky person that for my 40th birthday, my wife bought me the most basic Rolex that you can buy. So it's in fact it's this one here. So it's nothing special. It's just that was a £5,000, so what, $8,000 watch. Now that's not. This is a bit more than $8,000, but not much more than $8,000. It's like, which one do I think looks more like $8,000?
The point is, that was worth the money.
Yeah, because this I'll keep this forever.
Yes, and if somebody bought this, they would
Yeah,
do so,
absolutely.
and both would go up in value. Let's talk about this guitar. This is our show special. We call it a show special because if you're a distributor or a dealer, you have to be here to order this. It's a GP shape. Now, we've done a lot of GP Grand Performance shapes, always with a cutaway. That's the Performing Artist Series, GPC BA1, 2, 3, 4. This is one, obviously, without a cutaway. Now, what makes this really special? First, this is a certified European spruce top. When I say certified, it's a sustainable wood top. It has the VTS system. We've really cooked it. That VTS system, we can almost target what year we want it to sound like. The braces are Adirondack, beautiful scallop braces. You've got gorgeous Tree of Life here. This goes all the way up through the headstock. Style 42, that means the pearl goes all the way around here and here. What a cool sounding guitar. Now the pickup has the Aura system, but only one mic image. So it's really plug in and play, but when you plug this sucker in, it's gonna sound like it's coming through the sound of a Neumann U87. But are you ready for this? You ready, Martin? Flamed koa with a Madagascar wedge. Now when you look at this and the beautiful wood binding and you look at the work, gold-plated tuners, when you really look at what it is, pound for pound, it's actually, what we say, Lee and I say it's not a price tag, it's a gift tag.
Well, this is my favorite So
42.
is that's what all the 42 model guitars will have that.
If it has a 40 nomenclature, it'll have pearl around the rosette. If it's 41, it'll have pearl around here.
Right.
If it's 42, it'll have pearl here. Here, this is very difficult to do, the mitered corners. And then
you don't have a lot to work with here, do you? Really?
No.
It's like,
And the 45 has pearl everywhere, of course. Okay?
that's
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, not too bad. Cheers. Oh, wow. This is almost more sort of Gibson-y, isn't it, with the kind of the bird?
Well, this is actually a purple martin. That's an indigenous northeast bird. It's a barn swallow, basically. But if you look it up in a
Can we
ornithology
do gags about African and European swallows? What's the average flying speed of a swallow? And then you say African or European. Anyway, it's a Monty Python joke.
Okay.
Sorry.
Purple martin. We got one here. We got one here. We did one before, Adirondack spruce, of course. It's gorgeous, and this is in Cocobolo, which is.
Is this just a sort of like a single strip already
Yes.
made up? Is it? And
Yes.
you just lay
This
it
is
in?
wood marquetry. We usually,
So pretty, isn't it?
historically, we buy wood marquetry like herringbone and this from Germany, and it really requires very careful routing and gluing and you know what else is really painstaking about using anything like this? Once you glue the top and the back with this kind of marquetry, when you go to finish the guitar, you have to put a sealant first and a stain. And then a craftsperson has to very carefully scrape away,
Oh, the stain.
very slowly scrape away the stain from the binding, and it's an amazing amount of work. Okay, from one extreme to the other, from the Rolex to the Swatch.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is the Dreadnought Jr. Okay, Junior because of its size. Dreadnought because this is our iconic shape that we actually named after a British battleship in 1931 because it was so big. The Dreadnought, in its icon nature, this is a really very cuddly Dreadnought size. Solid sapele back and sides, solid Sebo neck, which is an African wood, solid spruce top with 1/4-inch Sitka spruce braces. You've got rich light bridge and fingerboard, a hand-rubbed oil finish, a Fishman sonotone pickup, a 24-inch scale length, and a gig bag.
There's something really cool about this. You kind of just want to pick it up and play it. You know, it's definitely.
And it's
Is it proportionately exactly the same as a Dreadnought, but just shrunk down? So every element.
15/16, I think.
Really, it looks great.
It's great to play too. Yeah, this is our biggest challenge, Lee, is going to be making enough.
Oh, great.
We can only make, it's made in Navajo.
So is that where the X series is from? Yeah.
And the thing about it is, if it's got this name on it,
Yeah.
we're not going to let it leave the building if it doesn't sound, look, and last a lifetime. It's got to sound great and last longer than you and me. So
Yeah.
that
No,
means we can't make 1 million of them. You
And
know what I
that's
mean?
always been the challenge with whenever the last time there was a big challenge was with the Ed Sheeran stuff, wasn't
Of
there?
course.
And then customers get frustrated because you're telling them it's 6 months before they get their guitar, but you just have to realise these aren't, you don't just press a button on a machine and 1 million guitars pop out. It's like there's only a certain number you can make, and if they get really popular, you just have to wait.
As the
don't you?
Supremes said, you can't hurry love.
Yeah, but
You just have to wait.
I've ordered lots of these. So, any idea when they might start arriving?
A couple of months, I
Couple of
reckon.
months.
huh?
What's the UK street on that, Lee? Is it?
What's the UK street on
it's-
that, Adam?
$5.99,
$5.99.
including VAT.
I know, it's
Yeah.
silly, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to any guitarist's major candy store. Welcome to the custom shop. The custom shop is amazing. You have 182 years of artistry at Martin that we've given these guys full lease to create some amazing, incredible, unusual guitars. They're spectacular. These sold signs mean that it's basically already sold out. But this is a guitar I know is going to show up in the UK. So I know Westside ordered some of these. This is the custom shop offering for 2015. It's a CS custom shop, triple O size, style 41. So it doesn't have this part. So it's just got the Pro here. For 2015. Now, I want to tell you about this guitar because I find it rather remarkable. The top is Adirondack.
It's a really open grain, isn't it?
It is.
On the top.
It's like a seersucker suit, Adirondack. It's an amazing top. It has the VTS system, so we baked it very carefully. The braces are Adirondack, not with the VTS, but golden era positioning and shaping. You've got spectacular flamed koa binding here. The truss rod on this guitar is made out of carbon fiber. So someone said, can you adjust it? No, you can't even move it, which is why we put it as a truss rod. It's a pretty awesome thing. Now, the other aspect of this guitar, it's a short scale length, so fingerstyle players are going to really love it. But are you ready for this? Isn't that sick? This is Cocobolo, which everybody mistakes for Brazilian. It is in the rosewood family.
Coca-Cola is the stuff. This is when you're getting into the really rare timbers, aren't we? Where this is the tree that only grows in Hawaii.
No, that's koa.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Pull that
Cocobolo.
bit out. It made me look stupid. Go back to
But this is flame koa. This is only from Hawaii. No, listen. So many people mistake this wood for other things. It's a rich tone wood. It is in the rosewood family.
Is this book matched as well then?
Of course.
Yeah.
We don't do any tops and backs that are not book matched. But check this out. This is so cool, Chris. This ribboning that's mahogany and rosewood. And I asked the guy who came up with this, Jeff Allen, who also championed that vintage gloss and VTS, what was the inspiration for this? And he said, a Bentley. If you look at the dashboard of a Bentley, this is what. Now, this motif is also carried up through the headstock. So it's spectacular. Limited to 75 pieces
What's a Bentley
worldwide.
going to set you back nowadays?
75 pieces.
150,000?
I'm not sure. I'm wondering if they'll do one to see
much more,
like the
much
dashboard of a
more.
Vauxhall Astra
Oh,
for me.
much more than
I'm
that.
talking pounds.
Oh, well, there you go.
How much is one of these? 9999.
999.
Yeah.
Now look at some of these custom instruments. A small size 5.
That's unbelievably cute. That
Here's a spectacular jumbo, also in Cocobolo. You know.
Oh.
But I got to show you some. Now these guys took orders for these, but from here on is one-offs, just one-offs, one of a kind that we're selling by lottery. The lottery's at 12 o'clock today.
Oh wow.
I mean, people line up to spend. Why do they do that? They do that because they recognize the value of a modern guitar. Now, let me just show you one out of a zillion, not a zillion, maybe 7, that like blows my mind.
What happened here? What's the story of this?
I'm going to get that to
Okay.
you. I'll tell you in a second, but I have to show you this.
No, it's fine.
I've just seen the back of it. Look at that.
Oh, look.
Now, the story I was told by Scott Sasser in Custom Shop was they had this carved neck for 2 or 3 years, waiting, because they didn't do it, the carving. Another guy did it, waiting for the right back and sides to fit to it. This is called Kingwood. It's from, we think, Central America. So, wow, isn't that spectacular?
It looks like some sort of, it looks like almost like a rock, doesn't it? Like a fossil or something.
It's
in the
just
rock.
outrageous.
It's
Now,
amazing.
Lee just asked me about this. Usually, for the past couple of years, we've been doing what we call a conversion guitar, which we take a guitar and make it a Brazilian. We upgrade it. They're usually old guitars. This is a 1967 D28 that somebody brought in that was wrecked. So what we did was we pulled off the top and the neck. We left the original back and sides with Brazilian.
Oh wait.
Are you kidding me?
And we've converted it.
So that
was
Yes.
that, or
So
that
if,
was that.
if you buy this guitar, you also get the shadow box.
Oh man.
that's incredibly cool.
And this isn't, I mean, this guitar is all Brazilian, but the woods were hand-picked by Chris Martin. It's just amazing some of the things that we can do. So look,
Do you know what
let's say,
I've just seen on here as well. Okay, so $40,000. That's a lot of money. Anybody?
but you got to win a lottery to
but
have
you've
the privilege.
You've actually got to win a lottery to have the privilege of paying $40,000 for that guitar. I might buy a ticket.
You were talking about the color wood.
I was.
Hawaii. This has also been chosen by Chris Martin. He hand-selected these woods. These were woods that were reserved for the authentic Koa orchestra models. Look at this, isn't that spectacular?
Oh man, front and back.
And what I love about this, Lee, you see how the inlay doesn't go all the way to the edge, it's sort of floating? Man, that's just spectacular. This is also in the lottery. But listen, more to the point, if you're watching this and let's say you've always lusted after a D28 14 fret, but you want a slotted headstock, or you want a spring for a D18, but you want Adirondack top, we can do that. We can custom. You go to, first of all, you got to go to the right store. You know, and Andertons, I mean, I got to say, that's the place. You know?
I thought you were going to say, I would avoid them.
It did sound like that.
I'd sit down with Paul. And bang out a custom and.
You can do it because that's the cool thing I think with Andertons is we've got a couple of guys there. Paul, the main guy.
Oh yeah.
Who will talk you through everything and anything that you need to know. Even if you want to blow your life savings on a one-of-a-kind guitar, he's the man. Or if you're starting out and you just think, I've seen a nice acoustic guitar and I want to get a Martin Dreadnought Jr. or one of the X series or whatever, it's the same guy and he'll spend just as much time with you.
You know, the 00015 Sunburst, that's not outrageously priced.
Well, to be fair, not only is our cameraman called Martin, but he actually owns a Martin acoustic.
Oh, I'm going to hook you up with some fantastic strings. I got to tell you about one more guitar, and then I got to show you something about the strings. Let's go this way. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. I read you like a book. But listen, this is every bit of Martin guitar. This is a grand jumbo. It's the design of the chairman of the board, Chris Martin IV. It's called a CEO 8. This is the 8th time he's designed the guitar. The Grand Jumbo from Martin features a very large body profile, big lower bout, which is why there are what we call 3 transitionally scalloped braces down here instead of 2. The first brace is non-scalloped, the second brace is scalloped a little, the third one is really scalloped. The top of this guitar features Sitka spruce with the VTS system. Gorgeous cherry burst. Look at in here, Martin, you can see the pickup system on this is called a D-Tar. The D-Tar was the brainchild of Seymour Duncan and Rick Turner. This is not a hummingbird, this is a purple Martin. You've got gorgeous ebony here. Now look at the headstock. You think, wow, what's up with that? This is actually a copy of a Martin mandolin.
I was about to say it's a mandolin headstock, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, the wood on the back and the sides is sycamore wood. Sycamore is an indigenous American wood. Sound is somewhere between mahogany and maple.
Is that ever sometimes referred to as silk wood or lace wood or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm sure I saw some Fender guitars years ago because I just noticed the grain. It's a really unusual.
Look at the neck, isn't that?
Yeah.
And look at the tuners, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, very
Now,
cool.
the finish is spectacular. And so I have to say I was a little bit skeptic until I played it.
This is good.
Listen. Wow.
Big sounding guitar.
Yeah.
It's a big sounding guitar with a Martin tone. I mean, that's awesome, I think. So I was skeptic when I saw it at first, but don't judge a book by its cover. There's one more thing I want to show you.
Awesome.
And this is where I get to give the guys something that they can use, some Martin strings. This is really cool, you guys. We've completely revamped the packaging of Martin strings this year to have continuity with brand recognition. First, you walk into a store, all the SKUs have this packaging. Let's talk about this packaging. It's airtight, so a really non-corrosive, nice feel. The gauges are over here and they're color-coded, and you've got inside 6 discrete envelopes instead of 2 strings to an envelope. I mean, this is a long time coming. Now, I know that Chris loves the retro strings. This is a new Lawrence Juber gauge for your...
Awesome.
And,
I've tried the Tony Rice ones as well. They're amazing.
Yeah,
They're really cool.
And Tony's here for you.
Fantastic.
So
this is the best stand.
What should I put on my D35 then?
I'm gonna hook you up.
Try these, man.
You
if you
don't-
haven't, Lee, if you haven't tried Vinyl Streaks, you've got
I'm gonna hook you up. You're the boss, you know. One other thing I want to tell you: we have tremendous point of purchase stuff to celebrate the celebration of the D35's 50th birthday. Nothing gives me more pleasure than having some time with you and you, Lee. I love Andertons, and thanks for all your support.
Thank you very much.